In the last Parayanam session, I was talking about Swami's birthday discourse in 1982 on the 23rd of November. We left off at the point when Swami said, "After this month, I will travel all over Bharat, blessing those who are unable to come here either because they do not have the strength or the resource to do so. I wish to afford them the chance and give them the joy of nearness to me." Swami then suggested that the program should be arranged in the villages instead of towns and cities. Swami said, it is in these pockets, in these villages, that Bharatiya culture, at least in some vestige form, exists. He said, in the towns and cities, the Western culture has taken over. It is only in the villages, in the nook and corner of the villages, that you find a little bit of Bharatiya culture. He said, reduce expenses. When you celebrate the same thing in, let us say, in a village, the expenses get reduced, and save money to provide facilities in the villages. I remember that in the 70s, I think it was in 73 or 74, there was to be an All India conference. And in the birthday, I think it was 1973 birthday, after the birthday, the Central Trust was meeting, and plans were being discussed about the next All India meet. And as they were discussing about the venue, till that time it had been held in Bombay and in Chennai and in big cities like that. And when they are discussing the venue, Swami said, in my opinion, I feel we should hold it in Rajamandri. And there was pin drop silence in the room, because Rajamandri was not a very big place. It was a small town at that time. And to hold an All India event in such a small place would be very difficult. That is what all the elders in the Central Trust, the trustees, felt. And then Swami backed it up by saying, I will take care of the arrangements. And so all of them, of course, the moment Swami says that he is going to take over the arrangements and do whatever is needed, naturally they have felt very delighted. And the next morning, Swami called 3-4 staunch devotees from that region, okay, and Swami Karunyananda, Mr. Ramarao, Raman Rao, and some people like that. Swami called and told them to arrange, Dr. Bhaskar Rao, to arrange for this All India conference, and they were very, very excited. I think this was supposed to be somewhere in the month of April, if I remember right. And they were very excited, and they sought Swami's permission, and Swami was very happy at their enthusiasm and said, just go ahead and start. There was one gentleman by name Mr. Bullaya, who was the member of parliament in that region. And Swami told them, you approach Bullaya and tell him that Swami has told, even though Mr. Bullaya was not a devotee of Swami. In fact, in later years, he gave away his school to Swami's Central Trust. It's the Rajmandri school, which is there even to this day, which is just next to the railway station. Swami told, just approach him and he will help you. And so these 4-5 people met together and they decided to make the arrangements. And each one of them came from affluent families. And so they decided that they would pool some money and start the whatever was needed to make the arrangements. And each one of them had put 1 lakh or so to start the arrangements. And to their surprise, they found that every time they went out for making some arrangement, people would come and say, is this the place where Bhagwan Baba is going to come for the All India conference? And when they would say, yes, this is the place, they would say, will you please bless us with this opportunity to offer rice or material to make the pandal or things like that. And things kept on flooding the place. And on the day of the inauguration, Swami went round and there were a number of VIPs. And Swami asked Dr. Bhagavantam and Dr. and Colonel Jogarao, how are the arrangements? You are a little worried that in such a small place, arrangements would be very difficult to make. Actually, at that time, Swami had said, in my opinion, holding it in a small town, the impact would be much bigger. When you hold it in a city, it just makes a slight impact, whereas the impact will be much more when it is held in a small town. And so Swami, as they were having their lunch, Swami just asked them, how do you find the arrangements are? And they said, Swami, in our life we have never eaten food like this. We have never seen arrangements as fantastic as this. And Swami, of course, went round and the entire event got over. And after Swami had returned to Prashanti Nilayam, the organizers of this event met together to take stock of their situation. And to their delight, they found that not a single paisa of what they had pulled together to start this, organizing this event was spent. Everything had come from devotees and from people of the town, and they were left with this money, and none of them was prepared to take it back. And so they brought some flats in Prashanti Nilayam which could be used by the Andhra Pradesh devotees, Sevadal devotees. So this is how it happens when Swami says that reduce expenses and save money to provide facilities in the villages. Swami said, you must make proper arrangements. I can even come on foot, but hundreds of thousands of people are bound to gather when I come. And you must see that they are looked after very well. It reminds me of a very beautiful event. In those days, in the 80s, we would have all our competitions and games in the Hillview Stadium. And in fact, I remember Swami had gone out of town and he had gone, I think it was to Chennai and various districts in Tamil Nadu. Or it might have been Bombay, I'm not very sure of which place Swami had gone at that time. When Swami came back, Swami found that the annual sports of that year had been held. And he had noted that the students had named the Hillview Stadium, the stadium which was there as the Hillview Stadium. And Swami said, yeah, that's a very good name. And from that day, it came to be known as the Sai Sathya Sai Hillview Stadium. So in everything that Swami was involved in, students also got involved in, and Swami was so delighted to make them a part of every event. Yeah, as I was mentioning, the competitions would go on, and every morning the students would come and invite Swami. They would say, Swami, today we have this game, please come. And Swami would be there promptly, whether it was a football match or a cricket match or a volleyball match or whatever it was. I remember sometimes we think that these are not so important, but Swami made it very important by his presence. One day, I was going from the lab. I was doing my research at the time in Prashanti Nilayam. I was going from the lab to the hostel. I would have my tea and then go for darshan. As I was walking, there was a mild drizzle, and I found that there was a small gathering near the volleyball court. There were about 70-80 students standing there. The volleyball match had been scheduled for that day, and the volleyball volleyball players had gone and invited Swami. And it was at a very odd hour. It was around 3:30 in the afternoon. And nobody expected that Swami would come at that time because it would be just before darshan time. And imagine it was drizzling. And so we even thought the match would be cancelled. But as I neared the volleyball court, I noticed that Swami was seated there, and there was one student holding an umbrella over Swami, and Swami was watching this match. I remember another football match which was held in the stadium. And in those days, students used to wear shorts and play. And after the football match was over, as Swami came to the stadium, naturally there were lots of devotees who also came. It was a goalless match which went till the end. And when Swami returned to the mandir, and we all quickly ran to the hostel, and after a wash, we rushed to the mandir. And when Swami saw us coming, he was coming down the slope in the portico, and he looked at all of us and said, "I felt very ashamed," he said. And we also felt very ashamed because we thought Swami is referring to the match, which was a goalless match. And Swami said, "That is not how you play. You don't pass the ball from one student." He said, "You must pass the ball from one student to the other." All of you were kicking in wild directions. We thought Swami was referring to this when Swami said, "Adhikadu, it's not that. It is that such big boys wearing shorts and moving around." He said, "I didn't like that." And so from the next day onwards, track pant and track suit became the dress for the students, which holds even to this day when students play games and take part in sports events. Even to this day, students of Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning wear track pants and track suits. So, as Swami said, thousands of people are bound to gather when I come, and you must see that they are looked after well. Swami did not need any comfort for himself. He was happy if the devotees were looked after well. I also remember one particular trip. We were going to Kodaikanal with Swami, and on the way we had stopped at some mill near Dindigal, and as we all sat around, we refreshed ourselves. Swami insisted that something should be given to us. They had not made any arrangement, and Swami was furious. And Swami said, "Look, when you invite Swami, you must make proper arrangements for the children who accompany Swami. I don't need anything for myself, but these children are so young, they must be looked after properly." And that is the love that Swami has for all the children and for all the devotees who are with him, and also for all the devotees in general. I can even come on foot, as he had said. When you undertake to fulfill this need in a village, I will be coming and spreading the principles and practice of Bharatiya culture. Swami also said, "You may not be able to see it, but it is clear before my eyes. As days pass, even those who are not able to recognize the truth of Swami will have to approach with tears of repentance and experience me. Very soon, this will be worldwide. Swami is now restraining this development." This is a very interesting statement. I will narrate an incident related to this in the next Parayanam session.